Hey guys, how are we doing?
What's up?
Charlie.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, Charlie, we have a guest.
I know it's our first ever guest on the show, I think,
Does
right?
this mean we've made it big?
We're huge.
I was gonna say it. Well, hello, Harbins. How are we?
Hello. Doing great. Just still recovering from Dallas trip, but it's a good show, and we had a good time, and we sold animals, which is always good. And it's been a good week.
I think that's
Was
the
it
point of
crowded?
Yeah. Saturday was crazy busy. Yeah, it was nuts. So it was very, very crowded. Sunday was still busy, but Saturday's packed.
Yeah. How many different mammals were there? Because apparently they opened it up to stuff outside just reptiles, right?
There was some kind of like rabbit, gopher animal. It looked Australian. I don't know what it was.
They ended up not doing that whole exotics thing. They had talked about doing it, and then like a few weeks ago they decided not to do it. So it was still just primarily reptiles, and of course they had like a little visiting area kind of thing for some other animals, but it wasn't like they had originally planned.
Yeah, the building beside us had a fencing competition going on. I wanted to go over there and watch people do some sword fighting and never got a chance to.
I mean, that's probably more exciting than the snakes. Let's be real.
Probably was.
I say that out loud. Sorry, guys. Let's see. Who do we got in the comment section? Let's see. 319 Reptiles saying, oh, K&D Reptiles. Patrick, Charlie, and chat. Yeah. I didn't think about it, guys. We were making announcements on new genetic tests, which we'll get to in a second, on April Fool's Day. So probably should have a disclaimer that this is not a joke. This is the real deal. This is live fire.
Yeah.
So.
We had some ideas that we thought we'd throw at y'all and see if y'all would post them. I was like, that could get derailed really quickly. So we were like, we'll just let them do it.
I was having a discussion earlier with some people over at a large scale ball python breeding complex that starts with a K, and they're stupid. April Fool's Day posts. I was like, you probably should have taken the phone away from Justin before he posted that one. But it's fine. He does what he wants. It's cool. Sugar Skull Serpents, how we doing? Lots of hearts. Big fan. Yes. All right. Do we want to just dive straight into it, Charlie?
Maybe we start with the one that everybody probably is guessing that we're going to release, the one we've been talking about for so long. You
mean the one that I announced already on Late to the Mic because I can't.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yep.
So the lace test is done.
Yeah.
The lace test is officially available on shedtesting.com and on Husbandry Pro's website. I put it up last night because I wanted to make sure it got up. One person caught it last night and was like, "Hey, is this real?" I was like, I was hoping nobody would catch that, but
it is.
Yeah,
it's real.
So it is on there.
Nice looking website. I've never been here before. I like what it's good. Charlie, you got a good site going on, man. This is quality work.
But so it's finally done. All these months of talking about it, and long story short, it was the one that we thought it was this whole time, and that Patrick told me from day one that it was the test, and I was too nervous to release it until we did unbelievable amount more validation, and we did. And
lace might be the most validated test in the ball python industry right now.
Yeah, a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of messaging pictures to Patrick, and Justin Kabilka helped out a ton. Like I sent him pictures every day of snakes that people were sending me sheds of, and like, "Hey, this is lace," and I would send him a picture, be like, "No, not lace." Okay, so it was good. It was good to have people that I could send pictures to that are really knowledgeable with the gene and could tell me whether or not my test was working properly. And then there were a few hiccups that made me think that it possibly wasn't right. It called a couple of hets homozygous, but I figured that out. It was just a primer issue. And after sequencing, it called everything exactly how it should be. So the test has been dead on. We're really, really excited to start doing it and cleaning up the lace project.
I think you mean causing sadness and sorrow across the industry, but tomato, it's fine. It's fine.
I mean, like we discussed the other day, Patrick, even if there is something else floating around with lace or something like that, this is testing for the lace. This is testing for the lace mutation. If there's something else that people are thinking is or it's not, this is what you want in your collection.
I love it. 319 asked, did anything change from January to now in the lace test? Charlie's confidence. That's it.
Pretty
exhausting, much. But that's it. It's been ready for a while. Harbins, do y'all have any lace in your collection?
No, we don't.
Not that we know of.
What are you guys doing here then?
I don't even know. I don't know why y'all have us here. Just some random people sitting in the background.
I heard there was a Tom Harbin t-shirt party. I'm like, I'm in. I got some of those.
Jeez.
Well, no one told me. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. Well, I am super stoked about lace. I have been. It is going to cause spectacular amounts of heartache in the industry, but I think it'll be better for it over.
But yeah, I mean, for like when Patrick's sending me all his stuff and I'm sending him results, he's like, looks good, looks good, looks good. Justin sent me a ton of sheds and I send him results. He's like, looks good, everything looks good, and every known animal that we've tested, it's been 100% accurate. So every negative has been negative. It's
a good test.
There's nothing like it's rock solid. And
like
we said before, we won't get into
get lace because I was afraid I wouldn't be able to ID it, and then I had no way to know for sure if we had it. The only way we could have had is a white lace to produce on top of everything,
right.
Now I would be like, okay, now we can look into that more and then be more confident.
Even during this whole process, I mean, I have a couple lace animals and I love it, and I've been seeing so much lace now. I'm like, I got to get more of it. And as I look on Morph Market, I'm like, I don't know what I should get, right? It's like when they're hatchlings, it's tough. It's especially mixed with other genes, it's tough.
Yeah, it's and the more you see it, and like when you get lace versus non-lace, or like lace versus the enhancer gene that seems to have been floating in lace, like all of a sudden you start seeing them side by side, and you're like, oh, I get it now. Like there's a difference.
I had to send a picture today. Like that picture that I took at Bob Vu's house is like perfect comparison photo. Is a lace clown versus a clown, and there's zero mistaking it once you see them side by side. But yeah, so I'm really, really excited about that. Test is working great. It's available on the website now. But
I love it. It makes me happy.
Yeah.
Well, now let's gently transition to maybe the reason that we might have the Harbins here.
Yeah. So I remember Patrick probably, maybe 2 years ago, you introduced me to Tom at Tinley.
Yeah.
And that's when I met Tom, and we talked for a while, and he told me how badly he needed a Monarch test. And we were working on it. Maybe it was about a year and a half ago, because Jurgen had already gotten the data back on Monarch, and we've been working on it. And I was like, we're going to try to get it soon. And it was just causing problems. We couldn't lock it in. And then, recently we kind of had a little aha moment and figured it out between Heather Rafi in Canada and Jurgen from Pro Herper in Europe. And we validated it, and the test is perfect. So we now have a Monarch test.
Yeah.
Tom would be so stoked.
Yeah.
I can't even tell. I mean, he's been waiting on this for 2.5 years. I remember him talking about development and things like that, and just been waiting and sending sheds and, collecting as many sheds as he could. And, there's a large volume of this collection that is just waiting on a test. So that's Josh and I's next duty, to get all those POS hits.
There's going to be a lot of snakes with missing belly scales very soon.
The sequences are definitely not getting published anytime soon.
No.
That's definitely not happening anytime soon.
Yeah, we're still waiting on Monsoon. I have a couple theories about that I'm looking into and working on, and working we work with RGI and Dr. Rafi and Jurgen, and we're going to try to get that out to you. What is this? But yeah, so that is the big one that we've been waiting on, and I'm going to give a little bit of information about it, but Jurgen and Heather will have more info about why it was so difficult. And so basically there are two lines of Monarch.
Oh, you were going to say, I didn't know we were saying it.
Yeah. So there are two lines of Monarch, two testable, compatible lines of Monarch. So pretty much like Ultramel, like Yellow Belly, like Fire. There are a lot of them now that I have to test double the amount because there's two testable lines. So you could have a visual Monarch and it be het for one line and het for the other. That is also what gave us very good confidence that we had to test once we started seeing that. There's more history to it that they're looking into about the where the snakes came from and all that. So I'm going to let them go into that more because they're doing a little more studying on that and interviewing and talking to people and getting some data together. But so it's nothing for anybody to be like, oh, which one do I have? It doesn't matter. They're compatible. They work together, just like Ultramel. It's just two testable lines of it, and they completely work together.
Charlie over here dropping all kinds of secrets. I didn't know we were talking about all the different two lines and fire and.
Yeah, I don't care. I'd rather everybody know everything.
Well, you're trying to keep some trade secrets.
Now, Heather and Jurgen asked me, they're like, hey, do you want to just not talk about how there's multiple lines? I said, no, I don't care. Let's do it. I'd rather, it's interesting. And, maybe we could see if there are any differences in color or shading or whatever. I've tested a bunch from Tom's collection, and Tom has both lines in his collection.
So Harbins, do y'all see a difference in like consistently differences in colors with different Monarchs y'all have throughout your collection?
I feel like the stuff that was imported is lighter,
at
least comparably to the ones that I think are from the original Rants, stock that seem to have the darker shades, which I guess are quote unquote the American version, which is still the primary one that we have in this collection. So I do feel like we both see that. We see a difference in those colors.
Interesting. It's funny how many similarities like Monarch and Ultramel have at this point, right? Because even like Ultramel runs in the same thing, right? We have multiple lines of Ultramel, and there are pretty distinct differences, it seems, between the two lines as well. And so all compatible. I mean, obviously Monarch and Ultramel aren't compatible that we know of, but yeah, that's cool.
I tested a lot of Monarchs over the last couple of weeks, and it's very close to 50-50, so it's not like Ultramel, where Ultramel is very few Ultramel Bs, Patrick.
You mean my collection and my collection alone?
Yeah. No, I've had a few more though. There's been a lot more Ultramel Bs over the last couple months, honestly.
Yeah, because I've been selling snakes. I know how this goes.
Yeah.
Spreading the joy.
Dude, let me tell you, I mean, ironically, it all originated from Justin, 15 years ago or whatever. But yeah, for whatever reason, only line B apparently in my collection. So that's always fun for Charlie. Sorry,
didn't you pick up some recently that you? Oh no, we were just testing to see if they had it.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't think I've had really any A's in my collection at all, which is weird.
But yeah, I mean, so pretty much every shed that comes in has to get tested for two different mutations. Just like Fire, I've noticed, is pretty much 50-50. I've seen a lot of super Fires that are Het A, Het B. Jeremy has B. Couple like one or two other people I've tested recently was B. But I think Robbie from Argen had B. A few people do, but So now that just means I have to spend money on a better piece of equipment so I could test them all at the same time. But yeah.
Any discounts on used equipment? You got any loaners or lease agreements you want to?
He really wants me to test stuff. I'm like, because I have nothing better to do.
Yeah.
I like machines. Got laser cutters.
Josh is over here like, Alicia, you don't have enough to do.
You don't have enough. Let's make you do something else. Like, I only had to feed like 500 animals today, and I'm still not done.
I can literally have samples run for me free in a lab, and I still choose not to. Like,
yeah.
Hard pass. Oh my God.
So do you think this will make more people get into Monarch now?
I think it's going to help progress Monarch. I really think one of the holdbacks for a lot of people is, a lot of people can't afford the initial price on some of them. And they are becoming more affordable, obviously, as more people are breeding them. But now, if people want to get hets to hets, affordable, investment in, then they can still produce, they can still test the babies for, the hets. They don't have to be pos hets anymore. And I think that adds a little bit of value to it. And I definitely think that's going to help propel. I think that's one reason it's been, not the only reason, but that's one of the reasons it's been kind of held back. It's really hard to push it because you don't want to go just, breed it to multiple different genes and then have your pos hets all down. We're sitting on all these pos hets because Tom just went ahead and did it. And so now we've got all these triple pos het things we've been sitting on instead of, if it could have been tested a long time ago, I think we would have been well past this part of the project.
For sure.
And to get more genes into it now,
Definitely, for sure. And then more testable genes. Like now we think there's something floating around in the collection that could be adding disco or fire. That may be why we're seeing some weird bright stuff on some of these things. And
finally just took that clutch to the Dallas show because we've looked at it for so long because we don't know what it is. So.
And then we had people that know more than we do. Obviously, that doesn't take much with us, but I mean, they can see these things, and we're like, I knew something was different, but I didn't know what it was, and Tom wasn't here to help, and so now we think the original blade clown that he used in with his genetic stripe Monarch may have had fire or disco or something like that in it. And so we're going to start testing stuff eventually for the fire and those kind of things down the way, and see if that's what's adding some of these color variations that we have. So
yeah, I think that's awesome.
And so I'm guessing next week or the week after, well, probably the week after. Next week I'm gone for training most of the week, but we have the Cypress test and we have disco and we have vanilla. So those will all be coming out as well over the next probably 2 weeks.
Those are all the things that we need.
Yeah, that's what we need.
It's like everything.
And a huge
Shut up. I'm not doing it.
I just want to know what Tom did to piss off Charlie to where he decided to do all of this like 6 months after Tom passed. I just want to know. Like Charlie, did you do this on purpose? You're like, Tom's gone. I got this.
I got this now. Yeah.
Yeah. That checks out.
I don't think any of us were ready for Dad's exit.
Buddy, let me tell you, that's fair. That's fair. That was not we weren't, none of us were really prepared for that one.
Yeah. So, but I'm telling you, I can't tell you how happy he would be right now. I mean, I know it. Without a doubt. I mean, he wanted this so bad to try to keep this project propelling. And now like literally, like we've got this little thing here. I don't know if y'all can see it. See that 66%?
Oh, crap? Yeah. Oh, you get to change it. Oh, that's exciting.
So Tom Snake is the first official test that I've ever done with the Monarch test on
that's
a pop
so cool.
hat.
That's cool.
So that's official.
That's awesome.
She was going to let me do that, but she just totally stole my moment.
Yeah, well, you're too slow.
And then also, I want to have shedtesting.com donate $500 to Tom's charity.
Thank you so much, man.
That's cool. Thank you, man.
Awesome.
So I was going to do it like, the first, $500 in Monarch test sales, but that's just too hard. So afterwards, I'll get together with you guys, figure out how we do it, and
perfect.
just because I know this would have meant a lot to him. So
and
he was so big for the gene and everything. He was huge for it, and I think he deserves it. So
yeah,
I think that's awesome.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Asura, how do you pronounce it? No, mini PCR is just no.
What's that?
They were asking if you were running this stuff on mini PCR equipment.
Oh no,
just no, not so much.
I'm guessing he looked at Instagram from
maybe
years ago.
Yeah, that's not nearly high throughput enough anymore. That's good for learning how to do stuff, but unfortunately.
Yeah, so they are both on the website. They should both be on Husbandry Pro because I put them up last night, and usually it pulls from that overnight. Elijah, okay. Yes, I remember talking to Elijah a long time ago. He did a whole article with mini PCR right after Hannah started talking about it.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's ready to go, and we're excited. Keep pumping these things out. I mean, paint is going to hopefully come soon. It's another one that I just haven't had time. Honestly, lace has been just taking up my life. So
whose fault is that?
Yeah, it is my fault. It is my fault. But we literally could have released it probably a month or two ago. But
6.
I just know because I see how upset people are getting already. That when they're sending in tests for me to validate, and I can tell them it's not, and we haven't even hit the tip of the iceberg yet.
Charlie, you haven't lived until someone asks you to look at their table and tell them which animals you see lace in. Yeah, and then you have to proceed to tell them you see a table of no lace.
No lace.
And you just see the disappointment in their eyes, and you're just like, but don't take my word for it. Go ask someone else too, please. I don't want to be the whole reason that you jump off a cliff. Yeah, it's tough, man. Nobody needs the lace test. Yeah. No, we needed the lace test. That's tough. But
I think it's going to add value back to lace, because you could see prices have gone down, and I think now once people could actually be confident that they're getting lace, that the prices are going to go back up because there's not as many lace out there as people think.
I think this is going to be like we said earlier, though. This is going to be really good for Monarch too, right? A lot of these recessive traits, part of what is helping us just move through this stuff is light speed, is the testing, and there probably is some hesitancy to work on some of the genes that you can't test, because just from an economic standpoint, you're going to be holding back a lot more. Het males lose a little bit of value in the sense that you can't just breed them and test for the pos hets.
Exactly.
And so,
exactly,
I'd say.
I think it's going to open it up a lot.
Yeah, I think this is going to be great. It's also going to help speed it up in all of the multi-recessive projects, right? Like I know people are already kind of working on Monarch clown pieds and Monarch pieds and Monarch clowns, and all of the various combinations. But
I forgot the other test that I'm now doing that could help you guys too is the Colubrid sex testing. I've had the primers in my freezer for probably well over a year. I've had the primers for them sitting there, and
just sitting on stuff like a chicken.
Seriously is, man.
People have asked me can you do it? I'm like, yeah, I could do it. If you want, send me, I'll do it. And then I think last week or the week before, Patrick's like, hey, can you do it? I'm like, yeah, I could do it. And then literally right after Patrick asked me if I could do it, 3 or 4 other people messaged me can you do Colubrid sex testing? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, he's like, why don't you have it on your website? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, all right, I'll put it on the website and we'll offer it. So yeah, my web guy is adding that because that's going to be in a whole different section. So
I was going to say, it's not here yet. I'm looking at this site that I've seen many times before.
Yes, that should be on the website within a couple days. But if you need anything, just let me know. So yeah, the Colubrid sex test is done. And that was a published sequence as well. And there's some other Colubrid tests that are published out there that I could start offering if people want. And but yeah, so I know the sex one, at least people that ask me to send me stuff. So
yeah, I mean, realistically, anything that's already published can be run, right? It's just about buying.
Yeah, it's just running it, getting it set up, working on my equipment, and making sure I do enough of them to make sure that it's working right on my stuff. And so, like Chris from DNS Reptilia sent me bags and bags and bags of Colubrid sheds of known males and females a long time ago to do this. And I literally just pulled them out the other day. I was like, all right, let me validate this thing here before I start testing other people. So
Mike wants to know if we're going to be able to do sex testing for monitors.
So that is something that me and Jurgen have been working on, monitors as well as geckos. And we've been having an issue getting DNA out of monitor sheds. Well, he has. I haven't tried it yet. So it might be sooner rather than later. Monitors, and we have somebody working on green tree python and other pythons sex testing for us right now. So hopefully in the near future we could get out some more sex tests for other species.
All right, look at you finally getting some stuff done.
Yeah, finally, right?
Just like he's been doing nothing or something.
No, seriously, nothing. I mean, well, no, it turns out he's been specifically working on tests for y'all with Monarch and then Colubrid sex testing. The rumor has it y'all make a few Hognoses every year.
We make a few.
Yeah.
That will help. I mean, I don't pop the Hognoses. I'll pop corns, but I won't pop Hognoses. And it's probing a 7-gram animal just makes me a little nervous. I'll do it, but
it's like sexing an earthworm.
How do you pop a hognose? Like you just break it in half, right?
Yeah, I would be more likely to pinch it in to pieces. So I'm just like, I'm not doing that.
In the whole meantime, while you're trying to pop it, it's trying to bite you. So
yeah, it's trying to eat my finger off.
So how do you tell? How do you have them labeled if you're not genetically testing them? How can you visually tell or no?
Yeah, the long males have long tails. Well, you should be able to tell. Males have long tails and females have a shorter tail. The higher end animals we would send off and have tested. I mean, that's
what was it that you wanted tested, Patrick? A hognose?
Yeah, a leucistic hognose.
It didn't need tested. He sent a picture. It was extremely obvious when like the third of the body is the tail. It's usually a male.
It was more on my side, really more often like hope and a prayer. Because it was gonna be a little tough to get that.
No way that's a female.
There was hope and prayer on my part. I was like, maybe it's a really long-tailed female. I really need this to be a long-tailed female.
Even though he was still kind of on the smaller side, because I mean, a lot of times after about 4 to 5 months of age, the males just kind of they're growing, but the females start taking off. So a lot of times you can tell just by the size difference after a few months too.
Oh, that's part of what started that process.
It's like this thing's just not growing.
It's like it's not like it's not eating. Like it was eating, and then all of its what I thought were sibling females are in there, and they're all 150, 200 grams.
Girthy, yeah.
Yeah, and then
their
this one
changes. Everything about them change.
Yeah, and then this one over here is 80 grams, and I'm like, come on.
So you're just one of those people that were wishing lace onto their animals, except you were wishing male. Male onto.
I trusted a well-respected hognose breeder. It turns out
you bought it from him.
Oh, I bought it from someone. I sure did. Yes, I did.
There's a theme. Tonight's broadcast.
I sure did. Yeah, I bought it from him. Unfortunately, he's not around for me to yell at right now. So.
He would just, and if you said something to me, he'd be just like, oh
well. Yeah. Tom's like, well,
but he probably would have gone and pulled something out of the rack and sent it to you, like immediately. Like, here, let me fix it, because that's what he would do. But
it's the way it goes. It is the way it goes. So I'm looking through my rack and I'm like, because I had bought another animal that was supposed to be a female, and it was definitely a male when I got it. And so I was going through and I was making sure, like looking at tails to make sure everything. And then I pulled the leucistic out and I looked at its tail and I'm like, I think we have a damn it Tom moment. All right, send some pictures out and see what would happen. So anyway,
house snakes aren't colubrids, right?
House snakes are colubrids.
They are,
aren't they?
Apparently my mic is wonky tonight. I don't know what's going on. Sorry, guys. It is what it is. We'll figure it out.
We could try. It's a pretty generic test, this published test
yeah.
that's out there. I have a feeling it's going to work on a few different things, but we know it does work on colubrids.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's a win. That's going to be good. Yeah. That's going to be just good all around.
Maybe I'll get Hognose now. My son, after he saw the Harbin shirt, he said, "That's a Hognose on there." I said, "Yeah." He's like, "When are we getting a Hognose?" I said, "Okay." Hey, he wants one. I don't want it. He wants it.
Hognoses are so much more fun than ball pythons.
Yep.
They are. Yep. They really are entertaining.
For the first time at a show down in Dallas, we set up like a holding table and showed example enclosures and had a dedicated holding hogs. And that was a super hit because we were on the Snake Discovery Passport. And we made a lot of kids' weekends with that table. That was just as much fun as selling them.
Yeah. They loved holding them. And, we've got several that won't just eat a finger off, which is nice. And they come right back home and they just go right to eating. They didn't bother them or anything like that. And so it's the males, like non-breeding males that are just kind of doing nothing, around. And so that's been
male and female aggressiveness wise.
What's that?
Aggressiveness wise, male versus female.
They just don't seem to be as likely to snatch a finger. The boys, we have a few boys that are just very food motivated and they'll still grab a finger, but it's our females. I can't even get most of our females out of their enclosure without food in their mouth. They'll just
the word you're looking for is voracious.
Voracious eaters. Yeah, voracious eaters. And so which I love.
If you hook them out, are they all right?
Usually. But I also tell people to use gloves and they'll still latch onto me with gloves on. But then you can pluck them off faster and they kind of get used to the difference. But even if I hook one of my big breeding females, she's still going to turn around and get me.
Every time.
It's a lot to get off. They don't bite and let go. They crunch and then they taste the blood and then they just keep going. Yeah. It's a lot.
It's so rude. And like sometimes you'll open the tub and then whether you have food or not, you'll just open the tub and they'll just start biting the side of the tub too.
Yeah.
It's like, what are y'all doing? Like,
so how are they more fun than ball pythons if you're just getting
so much personality because they bite the sides of tubs?
Yeah, they bite dumb stuff. They'll bite your clothes, and I've had them pluck them off my clothes. But the boys are less likely to do that.
What if you had like two? Like if I bought a female to raise up, and it was held a lot as a baby, does that matter, or are they just all killers? No,
we raise them to be voracious eaters, and we have placed many females into pet homes that have actually been fine. But I want one that will eat anything that I give to them whenever I want. So those are the ones we hold back for breeding. But if I were you, I'd get a breedable female and I'd get a male that you could do whatever you want with. That would be the pet that your son can handle.
Right. Okay. That's a good idea.
Yeah, Sir is right. We were showing everybody how to use that nose and just pop them off. Once you get the top jaw off, they usually pop.
They're fine. And we even have like our business card is a thin plastic, and it even has a little place that says, what does it say? Place snoot.
Insert snoot here.
Insert snoot here, where you just like kind of just like pop them off with like a credit card. So we tell people to keep that nearby, just in case.
I just saw that picture recently. Somebody posted a male that got destroyed by the female.
Yes, we've seen several people with some serious male damage, and luckily a lot of them will start swallowing them from the tail first, and then they'll regurgitate them partway out. But some of them are too small, and they get all the way down, and they're gone.
They're gone, man.
It's intense.
Yeah, that was
Shane
the one thing that always scared me. Oh, Shane had just had it happen.
Shane had one. It was baby Josh that got eaten.
Yeah, baby Josh almost got gone.
He was a Yeti male that he got from us, and she got him most of the way down. You could see marks all the way down him, and then she regurgitated him out. So.
Did he live?
Yeah, he's okay. Yeah. He'll be fine. He'll breed another thing too.
He's got some trauma.
Undeterred.
We'll work through it.
Jeez.
So one thing, I think one of the best investments we made is we switched over a lot of our tubs to the perfectly clear tubs. And before we just had the semi-transparent, you kind of saw shadows. Now with the perfectly clear tubs, you can see actually what's going on. So you can kind of leave them alone, but still watch.
Yeah.
So I think we feel better knowing that we can get a better eye on them.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've definitely.
This is adrenaline rush time right now, like pairing, and then we've got girls going into pre-lay shed, so we're having to watch them like hawks because they lay their eggs and they're like, this looks good, and they start eating those, and so it's just a little bit intense.
I lost my one clutch last year because she just. I was like, you know what, you bitch.
We lost a bunch of Azanthics that way. She turned around and just gobbled them down before we.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
It's so rude.
It is rude, but they're still worth having around, even with all the intensity and the drama that they.
But when people come by the table and ask, why are these so expensive? I was like, well, the girls will eat the boys. The girls eat their own eggs, so already your probability is going down. So they are more difficult to get copies of these things.
They don't produce as long as a ball python either. You got to have a ball python that's 18, 19 years old, still breeding. I mean, not that you're necessarily doing that, but hognose don't give you that many years, and they get egg bound, and it's usually a bad situation if they do. So it's a little bit different. So
yeah, it's
interesting.
Yeah, it's a very different species, but they're fun. I like them.
They're super fun.
Yeah, I'm the same, Sniffle. Now I want one.
Yeah,
it's like the challenge. It's the challenge of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to treat mine like ball pythons for the first 5 years of her life, and I didn't get any clutches. It was really strange. So it turns out
so odd.
Yeah, it turns out if you treat a hognose like a ball python, the odds of clutches are pretty low. Your brewmate though, things turn out much better.
Oh yes, and that's another thing is like we get 3 months with the subadult and adults, in quiet time, and that's just during the holidays and everything. So it just takes that load off of us that time of year, which is wonderful. So there's a lot of positives to it.
Yep,
nice. Sure. Yeah, so I got the Wilbanks incubator now, so I could brewmate, right, in that thing, or
yes, you can brewmate it. Yeah, that's what I do in mine. Yeah,
brewmate and flip it over.
Yeah, I just pulled my hognoses out of brumation.
So do you guys have any snakes now that there's a test that you're going to pair differently for Monarch?
Oh, good question.
Yeah, that one right there. I mean, I wasn't really sure what we were going to do with him because I didn't want to just throw him with a bunch of stuff and then just have a bunch of hits. Like now he's gonna. I mean, he's 1,100 grams just sitting around. He could have been paired months ago, but we've been waiting and waiting. Like I'd rather make sure that we have visuals before we pair. And now we'll get visuals out of this with Het DG in it. And so he's probably going to go to work next week. Yeah. He's going to get right on.
That's awesome.
So he can thank me.
I'm excited. Yeah.
So we'll name one after you.
Yeah, we'll name the first one. Yeah, because we'll hold the mail back from that for sure.
That's hilarious. I love that.
Awesome.
And
you have a new Monarch clown too.
Yes. So that's a funny story. This was it was supposed to be a clown het Monarch het clown imported in from Europe like 2.5, almost 3 years ago now. And when Tom got it, he's like, there's more to the snake. And the guy was like, I swear it's just a het clown. And he showed it to me. He's like, what do you think it is? I said, well, it kind of looks like Krypton. Of course, that 2.5 years ago, like I'm still an idiot with ball python morphs. I was even more idiot then, but we both liked Krypton, so we knew what that was. And Tom's like, I agree, it's Krypton or clown or something. Well, he sent a test off. It only came back as het clown. Well, that was when some of the testing with clown was still on the early end process, apparently, and it was wrong. And she is actually a visual clown. She is homozygous clown. Monarch, and she is building follicles right now as we speak, and so now that really makes a huge difference in the breeding.
Would you pair her to?
I'm still trying to. I've got like 3 boys. I'm trying to decide because it's time to pair her this next week, and it just opens up that window for us of more confidence. And she's a lighter Monarch too, but she's from Europe. And there's some other pattern alteration going on with her too, but
almost bladish, right?
Yeah, bladish or inchy or something is in there. I'm not sure what's going on with her. But now we have a confirmed adult Monarch clown female. So
that's awesome.
That's great.
Look at that.
That was pretty sweet to get that info back.
I wonder what a lace Monarch would look like.
I don't know. It's probably going to happen because now at least I will be more confident to get lace to do it. I have been literally hesitating on it because I mean, I barely some days can't, ID, OD. I sure the heck don't need to be dealing with lace if I can't get a.
That's fair. That's fair. A lace Monarch is going to look about 10% better than a normal Monarch.
Right.
I think, yeah.
So, which
that's
is
even
right.
like all of the dominant mutations. They're pretty hard to validate just because. Even OD, I'm working on that right now, and there's some that people think that they're super ODs, and my test is calling them just OD. And I talked to the breeders, and they're like, "Yeah, it could just be OD." I thought maybe just because it was a little brighter that it was super, and so it's like it's hard because recessives is pretty simple. It's like it is or it isn't.
Yeah.
Validating Monarch took me a few days. Just pumped out a crap ton of tests, and we know that these are either
visual or het,
100% het Monarchs, and it was easy.
That's cool.
But everything else is just really, really difficult. Even like Disco and Fire, we're confident we have MF Fire. Disco and Vanilla, confident in it, and like Jurgen and Heather validated a bunch of them, but I still want to make sure that I do validation here, obviously. So I'm trying to pull together Discos and Vanillas, and I've tested a few of them. And, I go back to people like, sure, this is Disco? Well, I thought so, but maybe not. And, so it's just really hard,
Yeah, that makes it really hard, I'm sure. I can imagine.
But, yeah, so hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we'll have at least 3 more tests coming out of the next couple of weeks. So it'll be Cypress,
Sweet.
Disco, and Vanilla.
Very cool.
I love it.
And help us out a lot.
That's
we do have some of that.
We have lots of that sitting around. So
see,
that's awesome.
Again, Charlie was specifically working just to get tests for y'all.
I guess so. Didn't even know it because we have these Cypress things sitting around that people think has disco in it, and we're all looking at it like, what is this? This is more than just a Cypress yellow belly. And we luckily had several Cypress yellow bellies laying around that we could compare them. And there's something extra here, and very confident that people are like, this is disco or maybe fire, but it looks disco. And I wouldn't know what disco was if it slapped me in the face. And I'm sure Tom didn't know that it was floating around in the collection. And awesome. If it is, that's awesome. If it's fire, that's awesome. So we're stoked. So.
Cool. I love it. All right, we are towards the end. So quick recap. Earlier we announced Lace win. Announced Monarch win for everyone, especially the Harbin.
Super win, mega win.
Colubrid testing now a thing as well for us. So that's a win. Harbins are happy about that too.
2 out of 3.
Yeah.
We'll get you on the Lace bandwagon.
We'll get on the Lace train now. We're more confident now.
And then Disco and Vanilla, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. So it's been, I think it's been a pretty productive couple of months for the shed testing world. So,
very, very productive.
Yeah, I mean now it's going to be baby season, so I have a bin of sheds for. So red stripes going out, mandarins going out, and tri-stripes going out. So probably within a month or so, I'll have data back on those. Oh, and MJ Xanthics going out. So Mandarin is going to be, I'm guessing Mandarin is going to be another Lace. It's going to be.
Oh, buddy. Yeah. There's going to be nothing but disappointment and sorrow with Mandarin as well, but it'll be all right.
I mean, hopefully we get as lucky as I did with Lace in, finding the mutation so early on.
Yeah.
But because I know that I sent out, because usually I send out super forms of everything, and I'm confident that a couple of the lace I sent out, white lace that I sent out, were not white lace.
Right.
So that's why I got lucky that we found this mutation in the batch of data that we got back. But, hopefully Mandarin, I get lucky like that as well, because I hope everything I'm sending out is super, because it just makes your life a lot easier if we get homozygous versions of everything.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if anybody has a known super Mandarin 100 million %, and has a shed on them, let me know.
Good luck. Good luck with that one, buddy.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you. We can't thank you enough, Charlie. This is like huge for Tom's collection. Like this, I mean, we were speechless when you were like, it's here, it's done. And this, I mean, our weekend was made just getting that idea that you were validating, like, okay, he's working on this. This is possibly by the end of this weekend, this is going to be the next step in Tom's collection and breeding program. So it's just huge because it is his collection that this is working with. And we have a couple of Monarchs, but in our stuff, but this is all Tom's stuff. So it's super, super awesome. We're thrilled.
It's fantastic.
I love it. I'm glad we could do it. And like I said, I mean, Heather Raffi and Jürgen out in Europe, they did an amazing job on it. They've been working on it for a while. And, we were talking about it, going over why things weren't working and how certain ones were and certain ones weren't. And we were like, let's just see. And it's 2 lines. So,
yeah,
I mean,
it just took a big team to work it out. I think that teamwork made it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's good having it all over the world because as you're going to hear from Jürgen, I'm sure at some point, it's all where these things came from. And some of them come from Europe, some of them come from here, so these lines have bred different places. And, guys like Tom bring them in and import them, and then they're getting mixed in here. And sometimes that makes it a little harder to find a test, but it's also pretty cool that, after a while, it's all figured out.
It is.
We're going to stick with A and B, or we're going to go with like Yankee and Euro?
I don't know. It's not up to me to I mean,
yes, honestly, yes, it is. Charlie, we'll have that talk later. Yes.
Funny name.
Yeah.
We're going to figure something out.
I'm going to let Jürgen and Heather figure that out, whether they want to do.
It'll be interesting if Heather runs tests on maple in Canada to see if maple is another version or if it's completely a whole different thing.
Yeah, that'll be interesting for sure.
I know we've talked about that, and they were asking if I had any maple down here, but I think I have like 1 maple shed somewhere.
I think that's heavy Canadian.
Yeah, it's all Corey Wood stuff and super Canadian.
Yeah.
All right, so Snakes and the Fat Man is starting very soon.
Yeah, we gotta go.
That means we have to go because it turns out this is Chris's channel. It's weird. It's odd. Harbins, thank you so much for hanging out with us. What's the best way for you guys to reach out to y'all?
We're on Instagram, Herp and Harbins, same on Facebook. Email is info@herpandharbins.com.
Yes.
I love it. Guys, if you want hognoses, ball pythons, definitely reach out to them. They got some really cool stuff. And I have a feeling they're going to have a lot less Posset Monsoon stuff or Monarch stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, very soon.
Yep.
So, Charlie, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you?
Instagram @Shed Testing, Facebook @Shed Testing. Charlie @ShedTesting.com.
Strong work there. Guys, Patrick at Aura Reptiles, please. I need the validation. Go like and subscribe. You know what to do. Everyone, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate you, and we'll see you in a month. Have a good one. Bye, guys.